All right, hey, what's going on there, folks? It is Earthmaster here, March 14th, 2018, 8:05 p.m. my time, Pacific time here, and looking at some earthquake data and also Yellowstone webcam frozen up once again. No surprise. Anyway, I will go ahead and fix that after the update video. Just wanted to go over a couple things here. Taking a look at the most recent earthquake overview of Yellowstone National Park shows, continued decline in activity. This activity in the centralized area of the park right here is some wind and weather related. You can also see it right here in the Lake Yellowstone area. Also showing up on Old Faithful and a couple other stations as well. That's a little bit more sensitive to picking up any kind of motion or any kind of frequency, which wind does create frequencies on the instruments and equipment. Looking up here towards the northwest corner of the park, I'm not 100% sure what is going on with this. Looks like a lot of spiky type stuff. Now, some of it is earthquake related. As you can see, YMC, the Maple Creek station where we've seen the earthquake swarm before, is having, of course, their little earthquake activity. Really micro, I mean, these are really sharp, pointy, pointy is the word I'm going to use, right? Pointy earthquakes that's occurring, rather small. But this up here near Hebgen Lake is interesting activity. I will have to check into that a little bit more. But just looking at it, it looks kind of weird looking. I mean, scary looking in a way. A lot of these could be earthquakes. I know if you go onto the USGS site and look up Yellowstone and whatnot, and it talks a little bit about the instruments and the seismograph stations that they use here, where sometimes you will see signatures such as that, those little spikes, indicating ice buildup on the instruments. You know, maybe it's melting or maybe it's freezing. I don't know, but they claim that ice building up on the instruments could give this type of signature as well. I don't know about that. And this detection right here in the middle of the park would freak me out, thinking that it may be magma, but once again, it would not be localized like this. It would not be just at one station. We would be seeing that type of movement, no matter how small of a magma injection or movement it would be showing up on numerous stations, and it's just not. So once again, I believe that's some type of interference or machinery, something like that. But these little spikes of an earthquake look genuine in just that first glance here, but I will have to check a little bit more on that and see if I can't pull up a little closer station there, maybe on some of these data stations here that are run. I'll see if I can find one for that location as well and see what kind of activity we got. But for the most part, earthquake activity kind of, you know, like I said, winding down a tad bit. Like I said, there is a few earthquakes, small ones, micro earthquakes, but nothing like we were seeing with the past swarm intensity there at Yellowstone National Park. So once again, that's a good thing. And I'm still just kind of winding down myself from out driving around. Oh man, I used up a lot of gas just chasing water vapor today. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. It was kind of on the boring side, I guess. I wasn't in the right spot at the right time, and unfortunately sometimes that happens when you're out there chasing water vapor. But that's all right. I had a nice little rainbow here in town, and seen some cool looking clouds. I almost said clowns. Seen some cool clowns out there. Seen some cool clouds, which is pretty cool because they're always photogenic. They make for some great photo taking out there when you're out there on the road, just observing the sky and the atmospheric conditions. But anyway, back to the earthquake activity. This here is the hourly tremor map. Last 48 hours of tremor detection in the Cascadia subduction region, which extends underneath the North American plate there, with the Juan de Fuca plate kind of trying to make that movement there. It's not really super active, but it is on a wide scale region. I mean, it stretches all the way down here from Northern California. See a couple red sporadic tremors being detected, all the way up through Oregon, and it kind of skips that area right there in Central Oregon once again, and up through Washington, and mostly confined there to southern Vancouver Island area near Victoria. So, you know, it's I guess it's doing what it normally does. You know, it's just a little bit of tremor being detected underneath there, and that's not abnormal, but it is definitely making a little bit of noise there with this slow slippage at the Cascadia subduction zone region there. California quieting down quite a bit there, not a whole lot of activity. Of course, Southern California having their typical creeper earthquakes along that spider web of fault systems down there. Nothing big, nothing major to report, nothing even moderate to report in the California region. San Andreas, a little bit of activity along the San Andreas fault system near Hollister, just south of there. But like I said, nothing big, nothing at all to report for the most part. There is a little bit of activity. Taking a look at the date here, March 14th. This is from yesterday, from the solarham.net website. Talking about the big coronal hole. They're calling it number 79, I guess, located there in the northern hemisphere, is now facing our planet. Of course, that was yesterday. But anyway, they're still talking about it. Storms will be possible. Whether geomagnetic storms, that is, will be possible at higher latitudes. Aurora skywatchers should be alert within the next 48 to 72 hours. There's a picture of the sun down there below with the huge coronal hole facing us with a pretty good wind stream. Solar wind right now at 409.2. Geomagnetic storm, yes, is what they're issuing. Here's a 3-day geomagnetic forecast. As you can see, March 15th, 16th, and 17th, up to a 5.1, a G1 for tomorrow. But if you want to check out more information on that, you can go to solarham.net. Pretty cool website to check out the solar weather out there. As far as sunspots go, once again, it's pretty blank out there. Nothing at all. I mean, it's pretty quiet. Of course, we are in that minimum that they like to talk about, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's hard to say, but I think I don't know. I believe those sunspots do serve a purpose of some sort. What it is, I do not know. Well, actually, I got my ideas and their uses, but won't really go into that. Checking out the earthquake 3D globe, far as worldwide earthquake activity goes. Not seeing anything too big. I was looking at this earlier. There's some deep movement occurring near Fiji Islands region once again in the south. We're south of that region, I should say. A couple 4s there and a 5-pointer. It's a little bit older, a little bit more shallower earthquake. But for the most part, Pacific Plate still active. 4.3 being the latest earthquake in this part of the world. Take a look at this real quick and see exactly where this is located at. 4.3 near Tiruvananthapuram, India. Tiruvananthapuram, really? Okay. India, of course, they get earthquakes as well. It's a small earthquake, 4.3, nothing big. 48 kilometers below the surface there for that India earthquake. And just pretty mellow night, guys. Just fairly quiet. Nothing big, nothing even on the moderate side over the last 24 hours. And, you know, who knows? It may stay that way, it may not. But anyway, I'm going to get back off here and get the live stream up and going and figure out the, well, the Yellowstone webcam just continues to annoy me a tad bit, but that's all right. We'll figure it out one of these days. We'll get it going. So anyway, guys, once again, thanks for hanging out there. I did take some video of some cool looking clouds if you want to check that out on the YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure that got posted. Should be up in 4K, I believe, unless YouTube is taking its time at getting stuff in the format there. But anyway, go check it out. Pretty cool looking video. And we'll chat at you guys a little bit later. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good night.